So I'm looking at my roster. I'm looking at where I need to, have someone help fill some of that gap that I think I'm missing on my team. The only thing I can really say about that is baloney.
Damn it,
Jonah! God damn it!
Fucking damn!
Oh my god!
This throws off everything
fucker.
for me.
Twist! This plot twist right before Tori could get hers in.
I can't afford her. I actually can't afford her.
No,
I
get
could.
that. And
She
that's-
was my last. She was my final pick. I was sure nobody was picking her.
That was great.
Neat.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is X's from show. I went to go say, hey everybody, this is NICO, because we have another intro. I quit. It's been a long day. Hey everybody, this is X's for show, your one and only media response show, where it's a Sunday night, so of course we're covering Drag Race. Cannot be more excited. Got a lot of stuff to cover tonight, and of course including our Drag Race draft race game. Can't wait. I'm NICO. You guys can check me out at NICO Action, NICOACTION.
Hey everyone, I'm from the show. X is the show. Nope.
Ha!
Whoa! It's not so easy under all these lights, is it?
Drag queen flopping. You can find me places flopping online at Peak Jonah.
I'm TK. You can find me at TK Accidental. I will be developing the first couple X episodes of X is from show.
I'm Tori. You can find me online at SM Tori, being X is for not from here.
And that makes me your producer, KEVO. You can find me at KEVO Really. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment so that we know what you want us to cover from in the future. But yeah, no, we love it here. We love each other. It's been a long week. This was a weird episode. But now we're down to 6, so that's exciting.
And I want to kick this whole shebang off with, there were no girls this season who were an obvious cut in the first place. But now that we are down to girls that we've gotten to know so well, there are no girls that are the obvious cut to send home talent-wise. But man, there are the obvious challenges to cut. And let me tell you, what a waste of a challenge, what a waste of a prompt. What an underuse of. I'm gone.
Oh, you froze for me.
I'm back. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, you're back.
What an underuse of Ross Mathews. This had nothing.
The only thing I'll say is, because the challenge overall was bad, underuse of Ross Mathews, but Ross was really funny and his acting was great, and it was totally he nailed his stupid little Truman Capote impression.
Yeah,
It also has
Jonah.
Canadian
I
Patty.
it. I thought it was.
I
it was
thought
funny
he
and
did
cute.
great. I thought he was so sweet. I thought he was campy and fun
Yeah.
and dumb and like.
I thought he was funny.
I'm with
It
Kevo.
just-
Cheyenne Jackson did a better job being Truman Capote.
Oh, yeah, he needed to have more. That would have been better.
But the writing for this was so bad. I can't tell if we should just stop doing this challenge or if they really just do need to buck up and write better. But oh man, there was not a lot of meat on these bones.
Do we think that we noticed it more because it wasn't all of them conglomerating towards a larger scene like Daytona Wins is, like the Empire spoof they did for season 8 was? Like, to me, this was a successful acting challenge. Everyone did pretty well, with some issues along the way, but they all did pretty well. And like, to be honest, I actually don't think too many of them, the ones that were outshined by their partners, I don't think were outshined because they were bad. I think they were outshined because they were slightly less shiny. So I was really happy. I know a lot less about these people, about these reality personalities than most. So I was just enjoying the fun and the drama of it all. But I can imagine that if you're like a stickler, you're someone who really does know that New York monologue, you would be
The New York monologue was fine. It was bad. Like, it wasn't good, but like, if she had done it any other way and it was funny, I wouldn't have been like, what? You didn't do it like New York, so it wasn't good. Like, if she'd made it funny, I wouldn't have cared. I mean, that's a precious monologue to me, but like, the only thing is make it funny and make it your own. She just wasn't funny. I thought it was weird that nobody looked like the person they were referencing. And you know, like Lexi isn't Lisa Rinna. And I forget who Susie's supposed to be, but she's not her either.
That's my problem with this challenge in a lot of ways. This referenced something a little bit obscure, and then it references of something a little bit obscure. There was nothing in this that was a home run.
Yeah.
This is also one of those where I think normally they put the girls in specific costumes for this. This looks like this is what the girls had for like quick drag or like something simple stuff. Like, this doesn't feel like the costumes. So the gals are at a disadvantage because they don't have the look or apparently the right blonde wig.
Well, and you know,
I mean, it is the right color apparently. Susie's great and Anya's blonde, but
and yeah, because I'm just really confused if they were told. I mean, the biggest one to me is Lexi Love as Lisa Rinna, because Lisa Rinna has such a specific hairstyle, and she has short hair. Like, there's already we're off. And I guess Lana and Anya were supposed to be Black China and Tokyo Tony, but maybe not. I don't know who else is a mother-daughter duo that has that much trouble. Maybe I'm missing somebody from Love and Hip Hop. But nobody was anybody. The writing wasn't good. Like, when I think to Daytona Win, like, there was no "I'm About to Bust" by Jasmine Masters, like, or Jasmine Kennedy. There were no funny moments. I thought the ASMR gag, that's like, I don't know, like, I can see why in a writer's room, I don't even know if what they do is have a writer's room for these, but like, I can see why you would think it was funny, but it wasn't funny. And that's, I mean, so many of these jokes, I'm like, I can see why you would think that was funny, but it wasn't funny. And then on top of that, like, the girls flubbed some of the, I mean, maybe some of these lines were funny and the girls flubbed them, but the prostate wants what it wants. Lydia completely flubbed that. Like, they were very gentle on her, but yeah, that was the funniest line and she blew it, and they gave her opportunities and she blew it. The New York monologue, I actually don't think would have been funny either way, but we'll never know because Jules didn't make it funny.
Jonah, you were saying you have a bit more of a positive take on some of it.
Yeah, I personally found more of this funny. I don't think this was the most egregious acting challenge we've ever had. I would give everybody like a B at minimum. I don't think anybody was so horrendously bad where it was cringy and hard to watch. I think some people just happened to get outshined. I understand what they were trying to do. I truly do think this was just Ross Mathews living out his Truman Capote fantasy. Like, the entirety of the challenge hinged on Ross Mathews being able to do this.
Truman Capote.
Did not like the voice he chose for it. Why the voice? But also, it's fine.
I think he only has one voice.
And why does he choose to suck on helium? That's not my joke. But I didn't mind that. And here's the thing. RuPaul also wants to watch challenges of shit she likes. RuPaul absolutely consumes reality TV moments and snippets when she's scrolling TikTok, when she's in her giant ass house, in her giant bed, and her husband's asleep. RuPaul's scrolling TikTok and she sees these things and she'd be like, that would be funny. Make them do that. The reason why I know this is because Ru is obsessed with certain things. When RuPaul hosted SNL the most recently, the fact that we had multiple designing women jokes that were all about the one same speech that we've had on Drag Race for years, that people have been quoting for years. RuPaul's a creature of habit, and she likes funny, bite-sized moments like this. I didn't hate any of that, but it just felt, I don't know. For some reason I thought this was going to be an improv challenge. I don't know if they said it was an improv challenge. I don't know if what's a Mandela effect myself into thinking this was an improv challenge.
Hey, I don't know. People could be planning a season of Drag Race, call something an improv challenge, and then after the fact change it over to an acting challenge to make the numbers work.
They Yeah, they the wiki marked this as an improv challenge beforehand. It might still be saying that, but they also have next week as stand up.
That is next week
While
is
not quite what that is, but I think it's because things like this have been called that in previous seasons, and therefore we're keeping up the scheme.
I think the only, and again, not even against any of the girls, and I'll give some critiques about the challenge. Part of this is because you had 3 scenes that were all the exact same tone and the exact same thing. It makes it hard to not only differentiate what we're trying to parse, but I think it makes it harder for girls to really stand out more. I think that's what made Anya and Susie's performances for me the best. But this episode just not compared to last episode where there was this really good reality TV drama. We even start this episode with a really disheartening note, and it was just really, not that it set the episode for a bad tone, but when you see somebody being picked on for something they can't control, even though we're not sending, nobody's been hate to anybody. The girls have talked about it. The girls have squashed it. I understand it's new for us. It's a year old for them. They've talked about it. We're all going to move on. But this episode just didn't really... This episode didn't do anything. This didn't forward anybody's arcs. This didn't really solidify much outside of Lexi seeing Susie Toot as her nightmare paralysis demon. And Susie being like, if you don't have at least 2 wins, you're not on my register.
I'm very positive on all of these girls. I think where I'm not positive on some of it is I feel like we're not in there, so we don't know what it's like, right? I think everybody who gets ready for the Hunger Games says to themselves, I'm not gonna garrote a bitch, you know what I mean? But then they get out there and it's like garroting time.
Garrot.
Yeah, right? I feel like we reach a point with these girls where we want them to be the pinnacle of excellence we know they're going to achieve someday, because we know, we sort of, plan their butterfly stages for them the way people do for us, the way everybody who cares about us wants what's best for us and has an opinion, right? And so we sort of put together this vision of who we see these girls as, and then when they're human, when they have the audacity to be a real person and the editors go with it, it's just so hard not to recognize the parasocialism. But beyond that, I think one of the things that we also really got out of this week and last week was the recognition of the kind of patterns that fall into these places. I'm not here to say that Lydia Butthole Collins did not deserve to be here next week. I believe she did deserve to be here next week. I believe she was a go all the way queen. But I think she fell into the, oh, you're the weird girl, it's time to go kind of trap. And, Jonah, you had even said last week, I was like, do you think they'd really send her home with a win at this point? And you were like, I don't see why not. And I was like, oh, okay.
And part of it is once you watch this show enough, you can kind of tell what direction the show is going. Granted, that doesn't mean the show hasn't thrown us curveballs before. We haven't seen surprise eliminations a la Valentina. So right now, my working theory of the top 5 being Lexi, Susie, Anya, and Jules, we're still heading towards that direction, but maybe we're not. And with that in mind, I was like, oh, Lana and Lydia were probably next to go. They can do a complete turnaround on Lydia. She can find her footing. She can have that fire of losing Corey to now making it to the top and getting these wins and snatching highs. But that's not what happened. And I am of the tinfoil hat mindset because I personally do not think Lana deserved to be in the bottom this week. I do not think she was really that bad in the challenge. I thought she was pretty good in the challenge. It wasn't a win. I thought she was actually pretty good. I enjoyed her scene with Anya. I enjoyed the choices she made as an actress. I think that they wanted Lana to go home this week, which is why they had her against Lydia. And Lydia couldn't really move in that look, which happens. You don't plan to lip sync in every outfit. And for the most part, it was pretty even keeled while the lip sync was going. And then the scissors. And I was like, oh, well,
scissors.
they They
Wow.
can't keep
There's
her.
problem.
She thought that scissoring would keep her on the show when Corey was here, so she just thought if she kept scissoring.
The thitherth problem is a tough one on this season.
Oh my
But-
god!
I saw fan art that pointed that out, but I actually think that I think they didn't want to send Lydia home, so they kept Jules out of the bottom too. I think that Lydia was getting the edit of, once again, she locks eyes with RuPaul and the hearts start going and the birds start tweeting and everything is going magical.
It's skeeting now. The birds now.
And then, they skeet now. Yes,
Yeah.
skeet.
Ah.
And then she chose the scissors. And honestly, I do have to give it up to editing and sound, because when Lana Jarre just lands that split like a knife into the stage in the middle of that, I was like, somebody's on some good shit today. Like, whatever cocaine they gave you, keep it up.
I have really in the last year pulled back from my feeling of like, it should be predictable to an audience member based on knowing the criteria of the show, who is going home and who is going in the bottom. I'm now fully, it's RuPaul's Drag Race, just whatever she wants to do in the moment, whatever she's feeling is just going to happen. Stop trying to know, stop trying to rate it. This is not a meritocracy. This is a ruocracy. You're always going to get what she's doing. And that's fine. That's the name of the show. It's always been the name of the show. It's not, I'm not like, I give up. I'm like, I'm the one who's finally having the realization that the show has been telling me since literally the first episode of the show. But I do think that I always flash back to, I forget which reunion it is. Jonah's going to know as soon as I start talking about it. But she's talking about sending somebody home. And she's like, this is how we do it. If you do badly, you're in the bottom. If you're in the bottom, you have to lip sync for your life. If you do badly in the lip sync, you're going home. And
I know what speech you're talking about.
I think it's Medea's family reunion.
I think it might even be about Valentina. I think it might be from season 9. But I think every once in a while she likes to remind us that even when she is charmed by somebody and finds them precious, she will happily send them home. Used to be if your wig came off, but I guess those rules are out now. And again, like, perfect example. For years, it was like, if your wig comes off,
Right.
you got fucked up. And as an audience member, you would think to yourself, one thing I know is if a queen's wig comes off, she's going home. And now we have had 2 of those this season, and that queen didn't go home. So again, it's RuPaul's Drag Race. She's deciding who's going home, and she's going to decide who lost the lip sync. And even if it's her fave, even if it's the one that, you know, she loves that her name is Butthole. She's so charmed by that. She's so charmed by Lydia. And I can see why. Lydia is very charming and very funny. But that does not, you know, this is her time to show that all of that preciousness will not necessarily exempt someone if Ru feels that it is their time to go home. I, like Tori, I'm a little bit curious about Jules not being in the bottom.
I mean, she had a great runway.
She did,
Great
yeah. I guess
runway.
that's actually true. She really did the
Gorgeous.
runway. They did talk about the runway like it was an all-timer, and maybe that's it. I wish they would say that more when that's the case. Just because I do think, and they didn't. I'm shocked nobody brought this up during Who Should Go Home, but demanding the New York speech and flubbing it. This is the second time she's done that. This is the second time she's demanded a role and flubbed it. And it's not even, you know, she hasn't like completely flopped, but for the passion of saying, I know this, I want this, I can do this, I grew up with this, to not in any way nail it. I do feel like it was, for me, it was a little egregious. And I really like Jules. I like Jules a lot. But for me, that was a big bummer.
This might have been a situation where she was too close to the situation. She didn't revere that specific New York speech because it's a very hysterical speech.
Yeah.
That we even kind of saw it in the rehearsal. She was kind of flubbing a little bit, and I think sometimes when you're too close and you revere something too much, you might be hesitant to make big choices because you're afraid of not doing it the justice you want it to give it. I am of the mindset that Jules maybe did the worst this week in the challenge, but really did have an amazing runway, so much that Ross Mathews said he wants to put it in the Smithsonian of Drag Race looks, and it truly was a gorgeous look. It's very fascinating because I almost thought for a little bit we were shying away from somebody maybe doing the worst, can be argued for the worst in the challenge, but having such an amazing runway that doesn't save them. For a little while, it felt like the runway wasn't saving people anymore, but I think we're maybe even talking about it and why it even feels so shocking, because we just haven't seen that happen in so long, or what feels like.
Yes.
But I don't think it was a bad choice. It wasn't a wrong choice. We talked about it before. I was a little upset that we didn't really get a good answer to who should go home and why. I am really upset that a lot of people took what I feel was a cop-out of this person's my biggest competition, so I want to see them go home. Yeah, sure, no. I don't want that. I want season 15, you giving your dissertation, going down the line, saying why every single person deserves to be here except for Lucy. Give me that. The season 17, I feel, has been delivering on drama, delivering on reality TV entertainment. I think this is one of the most entertaining reality seasons that Drag Race has had in a long time. And the one question that's one of the juiciest, that's one of the loaded, I got a nothing burger.
Yeah, TK and I were talking about this previously because of that, of him, the rapper, on Instagram bringing this up. But the idea that we are 11 episodes in before we got this question, I'm starting to think that they all decided to softball it because they are too close now. These are the girls, like, these are the only ones left. Like, you are supposedly very tight with them. I actually think it's true, if Sam and Lana had not worked together, I very firmly believe that Sam would have just read that one right down.
I also, to your point, Tori, when we did Untucked, Susie asks why, and they're all so sweet. Like, they all really kindly say, like, it is because you're the best. But sometimes they're able to do that, to have that conversation literally with Susie in a very nasty, dramatic way. Like, and sometimes not with Susie, but I'm thinking about, like, when Sam is like, no, I don't want you to win because I want another win. And the person is like, right, but I don't have any wins. I'm just trying to get one. And she's like, I don't care. I want another one. And It's just kind of insane and mean, but also really funny and not a big deal. And like, she's having the moment of wanting it. And even in the Susie thing, when they're all backstage, nobody is going, I'm just so sick of you. Like, I just want you to go home because you're doing well and I want you out. They really built her up and they're like, we had to say somebody and you are doing the best. You're so good. We knew it wasn't going to be a thing. And that's super sweet, but it did sort of kill the novelty of the humor of the moment. And maybe that's an extra big bummer this week because this was not a funny challenge. And so all in all, it's just kind of like mid all the way through, except for the looks. Everybody had really good runways this episode.
And I think part of where the drama issues come in and the way it balances out is, like, we all know these girls are super talented and we all know that they deserve to be here. And so you get into this moment where Jonah and I were just watching the qualifiers for one of our cooking shows. There's like a qualifier version before it gets into the regular show. It's goddamn Last Chance Kitchen all over again. But in it, one of the contestants legitimately fails to finish preparing her plates. And another contestant says, I'm sorry about it, but I'm not going to feel bad about the fact that she messed up and it's going to give me an advantage. I want to go and win all the money. I'm sorry. I want to win. I'm sorry. Yeah. And like, there is an extent to which, and like, I obviously don't mean this about anybody on this show because the people on this show are my family. They're more than just, they're people I work with. But if you're asking me if I'm ever in a professional situation with somebody that I'm friends with, are you asking me if I'm just going to like not try and get the job because we both want the job? So I shouldn't go for the job knowing the other person. It's not fucking traitors. It's all or nothing. Like, well, there is an extent to which you want to win.
It's what we talked about with Arity in the first place, with her reaction to, oh, so you're giving yourself a good slot in the roast. So you're trying to kill me because you're giving yourself a prime slot. It's her prize. She's supposed to be doling out slots. And it wasn't just, you gave me a horrible slot, which wasn't true, but it was, oh, you gave yourself a good one. Yes. Did you really think she was going to give that to you? And just the energy that some of these girls have with that sometimes, you don't really understand what people are thinking.
Yeah. And go ahead.
No, you. I mean,
I also think that, like, for a lot of these girls, we're seeing. I think we're all. They say so much, yet sometimes say so little, and we have to remember the edit is there, and so we don't get to see a lot of things. And I think there's. I don't know. I mean, I've always been a little like, haha, let's all pick on Susie. She's my favorite. It's fine. I get it. But at the same time, I'm just like, it is becoming, I mean, and maybe this will change now that she is 3, but no one really comes for Anya in the same way. And I recognize that that's because Anya's drag is considered more mainstream and less theater campy annoying. But I don't know, man. I'm fascinated by how this group dynamic is working out, because I can see how some of them fit into the archetypes of seasons from before, but there's like it's like someone like lobbed off an arm and shoved an arm from a different queen on there, and then they were like, okay, now this one can go forward. And so it's a very interesting dynamic. I think this is because I spent a lot of time looking at Susie 2, thinking of Bianca Del Rio, and then sitting there going, you know, if Susie started biting back, would we be mad at her?
Well, and I actually want to kind of build on something you said a little bit earlier. I actually think, and I'm not trying to necessarily disagree, but I actually think Anya's drag isn't mainstream. I actually think Anya's drag is excessively black. And
right.
I think if you come for Anya's drag, in some ways, there's not a lot of ways to say that like, to just be, oh, I don't like your drag. Like, that would literally be like, your blackness on display is not attractive to me. And
yeah, because the moment you get into the details, it gets a little...
Yeah, and that's not to say that one is okay and one isn't. I think everybody should just not come for anybody's shit in general. You know, say, well, you deserve to win. Don't tear other people down. But it's like I said one time, I was talking to a friend of mine who was like, queen social justice warrior, such a big fan of hers, love her work so much. I'm so grateful to what she does for the world. And I one time said, I don't want to say something really offensive, but like, what do I say if like, I don't want to say that statistically it is proven that anime conventions have a higher rate of theft because anime fans get a little handsy. And and she was like, well, no, number one, there actually is a culture of whole groups of fandom that must exist within the confines of illegal downloading. There's literally no other way to do it in a culture. There's levels to discuss about the ways that is a different conversation. But also, baby weeaboos are not a protected class. And so like, old campy queens are not a protected class. And black culture is protected, and it should be. And so I feel like some of these girls, what they actually have is a cultural lack of training on the part of our culture, not on the part of these girls, on the part of culture, to give us the tools to talk about things like Anya's drag might not be my thing. I understand that Anya's drag is her blackness, and I'm certainly not coming for her blackness. It's not my thing, which is a lot harder thing to say than Susie Toot looks like an old hobo. I want to poke her with a stick. And that's a lot easier to say because it's funny to make fun of, campy old Broadway queens. And I think that is something that we don't really talk about. Susie is just an easy fucking target.
Yeah. And part of it is, we kind of see this episode, the way that Susie fight backs is kind of, in a way, a little bit dismissive because she's not on her register. Susie has her eyes on the crown. She kind of isn't putting a lot of stock or mind to what people are saying about her because she's confident in her own drag style. But in a way, I wonder if it reads as passivity because she's not really fighting back. She's just not even just taking it. She's just kind of like, I really am not putting any stock into what, or if you don't have to like my drag, you can love it, you can hate it. I'm not doing drag for you, I'm doing drag for me, and I'm doing it for the judges. And it paints this interesting idea of Susie because it's not clapping back. I don't even want to say it's hubris. It's she's like, no, I have confidence. I like what I do. I'm not changing it. I find it so fascinating. I also find it fascinating that early on we get told that Susie's a kumbaya girl, and Susie's the least bothered competitor we've had. Point blank, out of like every episode, she seems like she's the most chill on camera. She says one thing. She gets conceded one episode in Snatch Game, and suddenly, she's got too much hubris. She's, the Rick and Morty of the drag fandom. It is just really fascinating. I think that's why I thought even that they said Susie in the Who Should Go Home and Why. It's more so like, okay, but why are you dismissing Anya? Is Anya that beloved by the other girls that they're just like, okay, but I guess I want Anya to win. If I'm not going to win, I want it to be Anya, not Susie. It feels so fascinating how threatened they feel by Susie. And Anya, week after week, is sweeping these girls up.
Equally threatening with her unbelievable talent.
And it's just, it's so, I don't know, in a way funny that Anya isn't on their radar.
It's the congeniality of it. I commented last week or something how she was the host of RDR Live. She was the host of the roast. Like, I'm not saying they're setting her up for the win, because I don't claim to have that kind of keen eye for these sorts of things. But I did call last year's Eurovision winner, so maybe I do. Who knows?
I do get the feeling that if you asked each of these girls at this point, who do they want to win, if not themselves, they would all say Anya, and then Anya might say Susie or Lexi. And that's just really what it is that they're all just like, well, if it's not me, I want it to be that one, because she's fucking awesome. And I also like her.
I just want to say that Susie Toot and Anya Nerve is probably a whole lot better than Susie Nerve and Anya Toots. So I just... Yikes.
Only maybe.
I do want Nerve and Anya Toot as a touring show / podcast. Please put them together. Please, if somehow this makes it to you guys, Susie and Anya, please do everything together. Tour, put out everything, put out merch. I will buy all of it.
I'm in. I'm completely in.
Their chemistry is truly beautiful. I love their chemistry, and I don't know. There's something about two people who seem so unbothered by the flailing of everybody else.
Yes.
That I do think that they have a really good shot of being top 2.
Exquisite in their talent. I think they actually, in some ways, have the best shot of being a main season double winner. In part because of this built camaraderie, this shared spotlight, this understanding. Like, it is really easy when you are the best singer in the world and everyone tells you you're the best singer in the world to feel like the best singer in the world. But, just remember that before she was Celine Dion, greatest singer in the world, she was poor little French girl living in Canada, and she was still the greatest singer in the world by ability and potential, but she wasn't hearing that every day. It's a whole lot harder to feel that way. And I think there is something really fascinating about how Susie and Anya just feel that way themselves. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So I want to just kind of touch on the thing. Lydia. Oh, say, have you met Lydia? Lydia, the queen of scissors. Okay.
Fans did not come to help her.
No, this was bad. This was like, if you're going to do a big thing and you're going to do it badly, do it with blades.
And honestly, if you're going to pull out a pair of scissors, at least you didn't go for a Lifetime's Unreal moment with that. I probably would have been terrified. No offense to Lydia, but like, you see that blade come out, you're going to have a reaction in the middle of the lip sync.
Because she also had the shears. She didn't grab the snippers. She grabbed the shears.
Those were intense. So, good for you for not reacting.
I feel like we lost Lydia because Lydia made a bad decision, though. Like, that is what it comes down to. Like, sometimes we're like, oh, Crystal did not deserve to go home that week for some of us, right? But like, Lydia, this was a fumble. This was like a moment that I would have also had a similar mistake. I have also made similar bad choices in performing, and I get it. It's so unfair to you that this one just happens to be illegally downloaded by 16.9 million people a minute.
I mean, you know,
reaction to this.
This gay space pirate.
I have never had to put my hands
Pirate
over
pirate.
I haven't put my hands over a face in a lip sync in a very long time.
yeah.
And this was one of those where I just went, oh no.
Yeah.
The
And
carrot did not approve.
No. Oh, that was her face. She was staring the entire time, and that was just the.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I hate to compare it to something very negative and bummer from this episode, but it's sort of similar to the Arietti thing. Like, again, nobody send Arietti hate, and nobody hate Lydia for this, but you make a choice, and sometimes it's just absolutely the wrong choice, and then you are just left owning it forever. You know, I don't hate Arietti. I still think she's incredible, but like, she said something really nasty, and she did it on television in a way that there's going to be consequences, and that was a choice she made. Like, she didn't have to do that. She made the choice to do it. I would tell everybody that it's not their problem, and like, everything is worked out. But I also, you know, she was like, why am I getting hate? This is so unfair. It's because of the choice you made. And that sucks, and I hate that for you, but that was a choice you made. Lydia is clearly a lot, you know, and our area hasn't said that, so whatever. But Lydia had all of the grace in the world about losing, but I think, like, in some ways, as soon as this didn't go right, seemed to know, or at least in commentary, kind of seemed to know. But yeah, you know, she had very few options. She made a choice. It simply was the wrong one, and that ends up being the end of the story. It's unfortunate because it feels like there's a pretty good chance she would have stayed if she had not made the wrong choice. If it was just like, yeah, this was never my lip sync, I tried a trick to see if I could make it happen, but I was always going home, that might be kind of a different story. But it sort of feels like if this had not happened, she would have stayed. So it's a bummer, but, you know, I mean, there's worse ways to go out. There's worse reasons to go out. You know, our cornbread jetés and Eurekas who have to leave early just because of slips and falls and injuries. To me, in a lot of ways, that's a worse way to go out, even though you have the potential to return. It's just, you know, it doesn't feel good getting taken out that way. This, at least, you know, she tried something, it didn't work. And that's showbiz, baby. That's life. That's everything. You try stuff as an artist, especially, and sometimes it just fails for any number of reasons.
You know, I would love to get everybody's kind of closing thoughts on this one. You know, it's down to the last few girls. They're all so great. I will miss Lydia. Honestly, I did think Jules had a worse week. I did think that she, like, truly ferociously really did not practice that monologue. And I would have had her lip sync, but I mean, I wish I could give everybody a double save every week, but I can't. So, because I don't make any decisions. So, I don't know. I will miss Lydia. Love every girl, though.
Yeah, I think for me, I wasn't as unimpressed by this episode as other people were. I was pretty excited to see how this lip sync was gonna go, even though I was like, it's probably gonna be these two, because Jules is so charming and so interesting to keep around. So I was like, all right, this is where we're headed. Let's see how this goes. And I think this is a memorable lip sync. And I think Lana did a very, very good job of not letting what was happening over there get into what was happening over here, because she was still performing like clockwork, just killing it. So, and looking amazing. So I was very impressed.
About Lana.
I also go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to say, someone said this. Lana is a comedy queen trapped in the branding of a fashion queen. I think that Lana was able to kind of really lean into being as funny as I find her and charming, like not as this fierce supermodel, but that's what she wants to be. She wants to be a supermodel, and I'm not gonna tell a girl what they can and can't be. But I do think she's genuinely hysterical and probably be one of the most fun people to like hang out with.
Like Nicole Richie.
Yes.
She's very funny on Great News, and you'd be very surprised by how funny she is on Great News. So yes, there's these fashion girlies that if you gave them a chance, more of a sense of humor than you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, final thoughts. Sound off. Who got them?
Yeah, this was interesting. The move was interesting. I think it speaks to a lot we've been saying about a lot of Lydia's moves, where she just needs to learn to do a little bit more winnowing down, a little bit more planning. I think that's part of where that move came from. I think you just pull out a pair of scissors and go, but you don't. And this is a learning experience. And we've seen far worse learning experiences at far grander stages of RuPaul's Drag Race. So, hopefully we see her on an All-Stars, on a Global, on a Canada. Who knows?
I do also
I think we've
wanna
reached.
give-
Go for it.
I do
Go
want
for
to give it up for Sam's heart growing 3 sizes today. She learned what it's like to work with someone you disagree with, and like an odd couple or pair from Green Acres together, they have seen past themselves and grown together.
I think I've reached maybe the point, and I remember I was kind of getting this way with UK right before this, but like towards the end, I'm just kind of like, all right, girls, let's wrap this up. Not on the part of the contestants, but the show. The show, I feel like, starts to do them less and less justice towards the end and sort of drags on a little bit. Looking at the preview, I don't know that I'm crazy excited for the next challenge, or it's going to be game-changingly ridiculous. Who knows? Excited to find out, but I feel like it's one of those ones where I'm going to be waiting on the edge of my seat, and then halfway through the episode, I'm going to be like, this is a little bit. This episode for me was kind of like that. I was curious to see where it went, and then I was just kind of bored the whole time. We're at top 6. We're getting really close to top 4, which is where we kind of get to the end of this thing. And I do feel like production loses steam. I don't feel like the girls lose steam. I feel like production loses steam. And, maybe plots these seasons out in a way that is very manageable and safe, but isn't necessarily best for audience excitement and satisfaction. And I don't know, these seasons are long, man. I'd be okay cutting 2 episodes out just to get us there. I think it would cut out some challenges where, again, the writing team doesn't necessarily have it to make it a good challenge. And I mean, some of my favorite seasons are some of the shortest ones, like season 8. So it's not the end of the world if they're a little bit shorter. And there's ways to do justice to all the girls, but I'm just feeling that kind of energy dip right now.
I get it. Did anybody have anything left before we move on to draft race?
If
Not me.
I'm in the alternate universe that I'm in this show and I go to Untuck, I'm eliminated early, and I find out the guest judge brought whiskey and wings, I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
It was brought to me.
What a thing to make me like Sam Smith. Very interesting. God bless.
Truly. First gay person to win an Oscar. So,
That's what I hear.
let's talk some draft race. It is time to go draft racing. I would love to get a quick rundown of everybody whose girls have all-star badges. I have one for Saphira. Tori, what you got?
I got 2 for Roxy.
All right, TK, what you got?
I've got 1 for Jada, 1 for Katya, and do I have a third one?
You might, buddy.
I think I do.
You.
I have 1 less than Jonah.
Willow. You have Jada.
You have 1 for Katya. you have one for Jada, and you have one for Willow.
Okay.
There we go.
Cool.
And then
on the other side.
And then I have, I believe, one for Trinity, one for Nymphia, and one for Rose.
Yep. So, and it's really funny because like part of how this game works is like TK's rolled 20s 2 weeks in a row. I've rolled 1s 2 weeks in a row. So like, it's sort of how it just kind of flashes out and goes. But hopefully the girls have more even weeks this week because we are having some Snatch game. KEVO, I am so excited to play some games and some stuff. So sorry, guys. We all had time to work on our Snatch game characters. We all had time to get our list together and be prepared. But before we can Snatch, we got a mini challenge. And so we're going to mini challenge. And today's mini challenge is called Close Up. We are going to start zoomed in on a picture of a queen and slowly zoom out. And the order that you buzz in is the points. So if you buzz in first, and you're correct, it's 4 points. If you buzz in second and you're correct, it's 3. Third and you're correct, it's 2. And if you buzz in fourth and you're correct, it's 1. And if you go by default, nothing for you. You waited too long, you fool.
And for you, Glen Coco.
He's mildly correct. It's not exactly a slow zoom out. I have 3 zoom ins, and then
Okay. So I don't know. Only KEVO knows. And Tori asked me in the backstage area, what's the method of buzzing in? I'm gonna say just going buzz. So
solid. Get closer to your mic, Jonah. I want to be able to hear you.
You ready?
I'm ready to scream and shout and let it all out.
And we're ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
All right, first queen.
Ready.
Oh, sorry, that's the wrong. There we go. Here's the first.
Ding.
TK had it first.
Am I calling it out?
Yeah, you got to.
Well, yeah, you said it. You have to guess.
Okay. Monet.
Yes.
Yay.
Not just Monet, but Monet on Glam Slam. Check out the coverage of
Boo,
that.
Rob Anderson. Boo.
4 points for TK, and we're playing to 10, right?
Yes.
Or however many till we're done.
Mm-hmm.
All right, ready?
Ready. Oh, bing, ding, bazing. Is it Dawn?
No.
Well, it looked like an elf person. Don't be so dismissive.
What you got, Jonah?
Nina West?
Yes.
Ah.
That was the second one. That was not the first one.
Yeah, I got 3
Great.
All right.
So yeah. And that's with Nico's best friend, Kelly Clarkson.
Besties.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
Buzz. Is that Copper?
Jonah. No.
Okay. Wait, can I keep guessing after this? Or am I
No, you're out.
Oh.
Is
TK.
that Sasha Colby?
Yes, it is.
All right. 7 for TK.
With Nico's other best friend, Christian Siriano. Okay, ready?
I love how many imaginary famous people love me.
They all do. Ready?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raja.
All right.
Yes. I mostly just wanted to have this picture of Raja in her Erykah Badu hat.
She's amazing in it.
A fantastic choice. I think absolutely the correct thing.
Loving
Thank
it.
you.
All right. So that actually does mean that TK won the mini challenge, and this week there's nothing. So
That's okay. I don't need anything. I just like being good at guessing what drag queens look like up close. That's a skill I'm putting on my resume.
we can save them for next time. So we're gonna save those for next time so that there can be more and get moving into Snatch Game, right?
So we're gonna do this again?
Maybe.
Well, who
we'll
knows?
find out.
Okay. Cool.
Tori only came up with so many mini challenges.
That was really fun. I really like that.
That was a good time.
Right, thank you. This was one of my final mini challenges before I passed the baton to Tori because I got tired. And thank God for she having so many ideas. She who has so many ideas. So, okay. we got our 3 girls. Everybody had advanced time to plan. You got to pick your girl. You got to pick who they're doing. And I recommended having a couple of lines ready just to kind of argue the validity. All you got to do is vote afterward. It's going to be real easy, real fun. You guys, for those who don't know, Snatch Game is a very serious game of acting chops, where you're not to use another girl. So, you try to avoid other drag queens. I think there's not really a straight rule, but it's, do it. You can't really do exact non-public domain fictional characters. So you can't do Izzy from Grey's Anatomy. You can do Katherine Heigl being unlikable. And so you can get there.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got some options, right? Does anybody have any questions before we roll in?
No, let's do this.
All right. Does anybody want to go first?
That's Hawaii 5-0, my darling.
Oh.
Well,
Bum, 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 ba-da.
I'm happy to go first because I'm right here.
Mm-hmm.
So Kevo, if you would cue up my images.
Yes. Do you want to go one at a time, or do you want to have your whole team revealed at once?
I would love to go one at a time.
Okay.
I'm going to start with Miss Vanjie, for whom I have the most bits ready. She's going to be Popeye.
Oh my God.
So
stupid.
And I feel like she would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm Ray Strong and I got all the big arms. Spin, bitch." And then she would be like, "Olive Oil, yeah, she cool. I definitely fuck Bluto too. It's just like bam, spinach, bitch." And then she would be like, "I'm in the Navy. I got tattoos and we all had sex all the time. Haha, spinach, bitch." And then she would be like, "Lots of cartoons are gay. Oh yeah, like lots of us. Like all the Johnny Quest guys. Their new name is Johnny Quest Diagnostics for blood prep work. Okay, spinach, bitch." And that is Vanjie's Popeye, and I feel like she would be very good at it. I would be obsessed with this. Speaking of obsessed, Raja is here to do the best ever Angela Bassett. And her entire Angela Bassett is going to be every role Angela Bassett has ever played. Well, when I was Tina Turner, and she'll cross the leg. And then, well, when I was Queen of Africa, it was just Wakanda. It was just Wakanda. Okay, fine. Well, I was Queen of the Earth, right? And she's going to continue to...
I'm also Queen of Los Angeles, for the record.
She's going to be a cop waiting to exhale. I think the magic is that Raja is such a beautiful impressionist. She is somebody who is so capable of hitting so many brilliant levels of comedy that somebody like Angela Bassett, who is a very serious dramatic actress with so much humor in her, giving Raja the room to play a little Tina, to play a little Queen Ramonda, to play a little bit, don't forget, I'm also a cop sometimes. That would just be so much room for Raja to really shine and be brilliant. And then my third one is Saphira would be Minnie Fig. She would be a giant Lego woman, and it would be all crazy bits. Like if somebody needs help, she would just hand them a giant Lego hand and be like, "Girl, it seems like you need a hand," and just like hand them the hand.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
She has to have multiple solid wigs.
Multiple solid wigs that she can like
Oh my
spin
God.
and my favorite would be that she would have a ton of brick props with her and just start passing them out as people were like flubbing, because she's Saphira and she wants to help people. She got plenty of accessories. She doesn't need them all. And she'd be Minnie Fig, and she would just be awesome, because with Saphira, everything's awesome. And these are my girls. Vanjie is Popeye. Raja O'Hara is every Angela Bassett ever. And Saphira Crystal is the brilliant original Minnie Fig.
Very fun. Excellent work.
Thank you. I'm
Snatch.
pretty proud. All right, who's next?
I can go.
All right. Whew.
So we will start with Violet Chachki. Violet Chachki does. So Violet Chachki pitches in the workroom that she's going to do Anna Wintour, and Katya pulls her aside and says if she ever wants to get invited back to the Met Gala, she cannot do Anna Wintour. So Violet really quickly, last minute, changes to Meryl Streep, and she is, of course, doing Miranda Priestley.
Of course.
So when Rue asks how she's doing at the start of the thing, she does the entire, oh, you think this has nothing to do with you monologue. And then the second or third question, she gets her answer written down immediately and then does a quiet, why is no one ever ready? She's got 2 or 3 other good, Devil Wears Prada, Miranda-isms. And then at one point, just for no reason, she does the insane Meryl Streep scream from Pretty Little Lies. Pretty Lies. The one on HBO with Nicole Kidman. Doesn't land at all, but she gave it a try. So that is Violet as Meryl Streep. Next, we have Bob the Drag Queen. Bob the Drag Queen actually realizes partway through that he can just do Count Orlok because Nosferatu is actually a public domain movie.
How I came up with Popeye.
Yep. So yeah, Bob is doing Max Shrek / Count Orlok, and it's a kind of like minifig. It's kind of just a lot of bits. It's kind of a lot of, it's either things that Count Orlok said in the latest Nosferatu, but said as Bob the Drag Queen, or just like completely random monologues about blood. And of course the makeup is absolutely on point, and it's just a good time for everybody. And last but not least, we have Willow Pill as Zelda Rubinstein from Poltergeist.
Oh my God.
The first time she gets a question right, she says this panel is clean. And when she gets interrupted in the middle of trying to do a bit, she does the y'all mind hanging back, you're jamming the frequencies. And she's just got some good Zelda Rubinstein bits. She's got a great pair of glasses on her. She's got, you can see the belt. She's got it all. And she really redeems herself from Drew Barrymore. And it's just a good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
I'm gonna pivot
Somewhere,
to Donut.
Katya is screaming that someone took Nosferatu from her.
I know. I was trying to figure out how she could do Log Lady, but I can't keep letting you guys vote for Katya to win. And then I have -25 in these lip syncs. I just can't do it. She's out. But Jada had my highest talent score, and I did not pick her. So I will just say that.
Nice.
All right, I believe I'm going.
All
Or would-
right.
All right, so first, I think we need to pick someone for current day who's currently having her moment, who I think the world needs to be more in love with than they already are. First off, I'm having Naomi play as Keke Palmer. Current day Keke Palmer. I think Keke Palmer is absolutely hysterical. I think Naomi would be able to channel kind of everything that Keke gives. And you do a little one throwback joke to True Jackson VP. Or Sheila in the Bay.
Shay brought Keke Palmer as a backup, just so you know. Shay brought that.
This is also really funny with Angela Bassett on the panel, because Keke Palmer will have to do her Angela Bassett impression.
She does an impression of
Oh my
Angela Bassett
God.
as Angela Bassett as as Raja. It's gonna all be great. Number 2, someone who I'm still surprised we really haven't seen on Snatch Game at all. I would like Bianca to play Jessica Walter. I am very surprised that nobody's leaned into, at least if you want to like go by what Jessica Walter is currently. I think people would more recognize her from being both Lucille Bluth or Mallory Archer, like the classic trope of drunk lady who's really mean. I think is one of the easiest things to like lend yourself into to be funny. Give it 1. I don't understand the question and I refuse to respond to it. Just do really shady things. You want your belt to buckle, not the chair. You want to answer these Snatch Game questions right, not look like an idiot. things like that. Things that Bianca would say to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
And
dying.
the last one, I think someone needs a redemption, similar to how we talked about it with Willow. And I wanted to pick somebody who I think could lean into a brand that they do well, which is stupid. I think Nymphia would do an amazing Anna Faris. Anna Faris has a lot of really good movies where she just plays the dumb woman. There's a lot of things you can pull from between Scary Movie, The House Bunny, other movie.
Smiley Face. Smiley Face is my favorite Anna Faris movie.
Mom, Friends. She was an important character in the final season.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would be good, like every now and then she'll answer a question, she'll go, RuPaul! Just to, remember her name, because you'd forget. Anna Faris is another person. Again, you'd have to be able to lean into her brand of funny, which can be hard when somebody already is funny. But I'm very happy with who I came up with them. I was like trying to pick, like, all right, who do I think could I realistically see if these people ever came back? Like, who do I think they could play well?
Yeah, and I think Nymphia, with the bunny ears on and everything, I think that would be, I could see her playing an Anna Faris type. So I think, I that was one that struck me as very interesting that I liked.
Nice. So that leaves moi. And I had very similar lookings into this as Jonah did, where I really sat down and I said to myself, oh, who would Roxy, Shay, and Miss Plastique choose? And I sat there and I said, Roxy has a checkered history with Snatch Game. And I just felt that Miss Roxy would be so much, would just really finally find her groove again through the amazing work of Miss Gloria Estefan, bringing that Miami sound machine back to Miami. I think that there's going to be a lot of, come on, everyone, get on your feet. Whenever Saphira decides to turn her Lego hair around, we can start with turn the beat around.
Miami Salad Machine.
Miami Salad Machine, exactly. That is exactly the kind of joke that Roxy would miss out on saying. So I think she's still gonna do a very good job at this.
She'd laugh at it though. She would laugh.
She would laugh and laugh. I think she's gonna come out and it's gonna be like, whoa, Miss Roxy needs to start doing Gloria Estefan on these Work the World tours. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Now, funnily enough, when you turn the beat around, sometimes you got to turn the wigs around, Dina, as we're saying, because who Shea Coulee is bringing around is Miss Shirley Ralph. And we are enjoying all of the fun of the Dream Girls, the Abbott Elementary, the way that she speaks. She definitely brings some Jesus into RuPaul. And frankly, she's got a Peabody, she's got an Emmy, she's got a Critics' Choice Award, she's got a SAG. And if it wasn't for that damn Jennifer Holliday, she'd have a Tony too. And our third and final contestant is Miss Plastique Tiara as the inimitable Miss Lea Salonga. But it's Plastique, folks, so it's Lea Salonga through Mulan. Plastique is going to show up in her full Mulan Disney getup, ready to go. And she is going to probably at some point say, make a man out of me? Of me?
Every one of your girls has been on Broadway.
I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean.
Well, and the only thing I might love is Plastique also taking a turn as Princess Jasmine, who she's also the singing voice of.
Exactly. There is a point where she will have to say, I don't know, Rue. It's a whole new world.
It's a whole new world. She puts on a tiara.
And then there will be a point.
Magic carpet.
He's just sitting there, staring at the blank paper, and then going, oh my God, where's that goddamn dragon? Where is that dragon? Where? And then just a little stuffed Mushu shows up.
There is always tomorrow to start over again if she doesn't do it well.
And then there's
But-
helicopters that appear.
Oh, Miley Salonga is Eponine from the Dreamcast. But no, shit,
That's
you
how
got
she-
it, Miss Saigon. Fuck you.
I
The
went
only
deep on
difference-
Leah Sol-
The only difference between Miss Saigon and Les Mis is, of course, as you
There's a
all know,
helicopter instead of a barricade, yeah.
the helicopter instead of the barricade.
I found out through going on a deep dive through her Wikipedia that how she auditioned first round for Miss Saigon was with Eponine's On My Own. And then they said sing another song, and she was like, "Well, I wasn't really ready, but here's and then she pulled out a gorgeous gospel number for them." So
I always
exciting.
think of On My Own as a Peach Union song. I
It's a
would
very
love your
strong
vote.
snatch game.
Everybody
for
vote
real.
me. Send
Oh,
me your
yeah.
votes. I'm here to
yeah.
give
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
credits.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
This is one of those ones where you're like, yeah, I'm okay with it being 12 people because this is really good.
This is really good.
I feel like they'd have to split it in two, but I don't know who I'd want split, you know? This is also a fantasy world, so we can pretend that this is a 2-hour Snatch Game special where everyone gets the room to speak and not, you know, nosedive. So,
Yeah,
Oh,
and this is
that's
also
wonderful.
not a snatch game of love. Gross.
No, this has got to
my
be old school.
Kevo, what were some of your favorite parts besides Tori's tour down Broadway?
I exploded laughing at Matt Shrek. Cheryl Lee Ralph is great. She's having such a moment. Leah Salonga is someone who does not get enough praise, so I love that. Jonah is right. Jessica Walter not having been done before she passed is ridiculous, and now I feel like that's part of where we're not. So, like, it's horrendous, and someone needs to do Jessica Walter in Snatch Game soon, just because she deserves the honor. Anna Faris is interesting because, you know, we've all known her since Scary Movie. Angela Bassett, my queen. I'm going to watch an entire Joshua Jackson TV show just for Angela Bassett. So for her, have a guest appearance on it. Vanjie Popeye, though, that one I think is maybe the one that I can most vividly see.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Get the spinach.
Vanjie Popeye, Max Shrek is maybe more of a Corey King thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, these were great. Keke Palmer, you know, go check out our coverage of Scream the TV series because she was on that. It wasn't good, but you should still watch it because she deserves it. She was good. It's not her fault.
No.
Uh,
Yeah, it's crazy.
did anybody have any alternates or anything like that they had considered?
I had a terrible idea that I'm not going to discuss, but I did say I was looking at Keke Palmer pretty strongly for Shea Coulee, and then I was hit by a bolt of lightning.
I was thinking about Cheryl Lee Ralph for Jada, but I knew she just couldn't do the voice.
Mm.
And
funny.
I thought about it for Bob as well, and it just felt like something Bob wouldn't do.
Yeah.
I thought about every dream girl for Bob. I knew he could not do Loretta Devine. I thought maybe he would do Jennifer Holliday, but he wouldn't because she's not funny.
Right.
And so yeah, I was really trying to think of one for Jada, but I didn't get there in time.
I also love, Tori, that you went for the Disney musical person for Plastic to do Mulan when she could just do Mulan because Mulan is a historical figure.
Well, I don't know if I like to say I'm a little too white to step into that conversation, and so I let Plastique guide my hand.
Almost done, guys. Thank you.
You're
You are
welcome.
totally good.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's-
I'm adding everything
yeah.
up.
He's adding.
He's doing that.
So is there? So I haven't seen the Lego Movie. Is Minifig is a real human, or did
No,
you?
it's just
Oh.
it's a.
So you
it's
went and
a-
built your own Lego figurine and said, "This is who Sophia is going to be today."
That actually specifically, if you didn't know, to bring it up, thank you for making a point of it. That is specifically the Katherine Johnson
Oh,
Pig.
yeah. Hidden figures.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
That's why it's
yeah.
got this little space diagram.
Oh, look at all that math.
So he said if I was going to pick a strong black woman to represent the pinnacle of Lego mini figs, he picked Katherine Johnson. Makes sense.
Aww.
But yeah.
So fun. So fun.
All right. I have our queens.
Woo.
Okay. Vanjie, Violet,
Ooh.
Bianca,
Of course.
and Shay.
Oh.
So very excited. I am really thrilled, and now I want to space it out a little differently than usual. So I would like the first roll to be TK and Jonah, because I don't know the last time I faced Tori.
You're choosing a hell of a week to do it on.
I know. It's just what it is. Doesn't matter. That's the game.
That's the game, baby.
So
TK is Violet.
So that's this is Violet on Bianca.
you ready, kid?
Two people that absolutely do not want to do this lip sync.
Just glared at each other across the floor like, you better not win. You better not win.
All right. I rolled
I rolled.
a total of a 19.
I rolled a 19, so I got a 20.
All right.
Well,
That brings me to NICO versus Tori. Now I just gotta look up my I forget what my plus or minus is, so I just gotta look that up real quick.
I'm a 4.
All right. I'm a 1. Ready?
All right. 1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4, 5. And we rolled. So I'm a grand total of 16.
I'm a 9. So all right.
Ooh, baby. Yeah. Let's watch.
All right, so Tori versus who?
TK, Violet
yeah.
versus Shay.
Yeah. Ooh. Meryl
Exciting.
versus Cheryl Lee Ralph. Throwing it down. All right. 1, 2, 3.
That would be
Sure.
interesting.
So I have a grand total of 22.
You win, baby.
Yay.
Wow.
Shay.
I think we misrepresented things before because there are way more badges than what we listed on.
No, because there's like 3, 3, 2, and 1.
Yes. Shay is now also a double winner.
That's it. She's amazing.
She wins.
Guys, I have the best time playing with you guys. I had the best time watching this, playing this. I love this game. I love doing this. This is getting more and more fun by the week, and showing no signs of stopping. We have got some unforgettable challenges still coming up, like the design challenge, an original Rusical, stand-up, makeovers. We have a Lollapalooza. We're doing a Queens of the Stone Age. We have got shit coming your way like you wouldn't believe, and no one knows. So we cannot wait to bring it all your way. Does anybody have any parting thoughts before we do our lovely sign-offs?
Nada.
I think this went really well.
Yeah,
I think we had a great
This went
time.
really well.
Well, Tori, since it went really well, where can everybody find you? Oh, I'm sorry, KEVO, by all means.
No, I love that there were no doubles on this first one. I love that there were almost at least 2 doubles, so that's really funny, and I think it'll be interesting to see what we do if there are doubles in the future. So yeah.
Ooh.
I
Dueling
think it just goes to show
Liberace.
Cheryl Lee Ralph needs to be prepared. It's happening soon.
Do I even tell you guys, or do I
Abbott
just let
is
it
a
happen?
machine that
Right?
can't be stopped, and we're so ready for her. Yeah, it's happening.
Well, until we come back for that, Tori, where can everybody find you?
You can find me online at SM Tori. That's Tori with an I.
Jonah, how about you?
you can find me places at Keith Jonah.
Hey, producer. Hey, handsome down there. Where can we find you?
You can find me at KEVO Really. That's KEVOREALOY.
Hey, Deke. Where can we find you at?
It's TK Accidental. Nico, where you at?
You guys can find me with all the stuff for this show at HTML. That's Husbands Talking More or Less. X is for podcast. X is for show and more. Don't forget to check out my music at NICO Action Music. NICOACTIONMUSIC on SoundCloud, YouTube Music, and more. As for me, drop the music. NICO Action. NICOACTION. Love to see you guys over on Blue Sky. Think you guys are all amazing. So stay safe, be brave, and evolve daily. And until next time, we'll see you. Snatch it up.
Wait, I wasn't as good as I thought I was. I apologize.